All right, here we are, the beginning of clay with patta. All right, so we're going to make one of these slab line hanging wall slabs that can hold a succulent plant. You're getting a paintbrush, a popsicle stick. I showed the little red tool, but you're not going to get that red tool. You're just going to get the carving part of it. A paper clip, a little half sponge, I think I said already. But anywho, you're going to get these tools and a container. The container you'll use to transport projects back and forth. That's the size we're going to build. I just showed the example. It's about the size of your wallet, a playing card, a poker card. And I'm not going to cut much clay, as you can see right here from my chunk. I'm just going to cut a little chunk. With my other clay, make sure you put that back in the bag so it doesn't dry out. And you could see I used the palm of my hand. I just smacked it down a little. And then I'm using a highlighter or whatever to kind of roll it out. You can also use this flipping technique. I'm not lightly just tossing it, and it just stretches it like pizza dough. And I'm just lightly tossing it, and it just starts stretching. Especially when it's really soft like that, well, like this, you can do this technique. And anyways, it's pretty big. It's big enough now, and I'm going to draw out what I'm going to make. I'm going to make kind of I'm going to make like a piece of wood. That's my goal here. You don't have to do this. You just have to make something that has a line design. And I'm just going to study the bark and make it look like bark, like I did my other one. I'm going to put my pattern, or my example, just right on top of my clay. Cut it out, just like I'm doing. Put my extra stuff back in my bag so it doesn't dry out. And boom. Now at this point, it's so soft, it's not really a good stage to carve. I want to get it leather hard, they call it. And so right here, I could blow dry it. I could put it in front of a fan. If I don't have any of those, or I don't have a fan, I just let it dry for about a couple hours out, let it get firmer. Then I can get physical. Once it's firm like this, you can see I'm sponging it, and I'm just wringing my sponge out, getting all that water out, just wring it out, get emotional, and then wipe it down. You're just wiping it down. It'll smooth it all out. You'll see what I'm talking about. You want to get it like it's been smoothed out in the ocean. That would be my goal, making it nice and smooth. Okay. After this, it might get soft again. You might have to let it set. You might have to put it in front of the fan. You might have to pull out a blow dryer, get it kind of leather hard again. And then when I carve it, you're going to need a tool. And you could turn your popsicle stick into a fancy carving tool like I just did. I cut it. You don't have to. I also am giving you like this little metal carving tool you could use. But I just made mine out of the popsicle stick. Now I'm giving a little texture on the side of my slab here. You don't have to do this, but I'm trying to make it look more like wood. So I'm using my little popsicle stick to poke it and make that look like it's been broken from a tree branch or something. And then I'm just continue carving my lines, making this look like wood bark. Going back and cleaning them out. You don't just carve once with clay. See how I go back, I clean it with a sponge, I clean it with that little scraper, getting all that clay out of those lines I'm carving, making it look good. I can even use that paintbrush I'm giving you to go back later and get a little water in your paintbrush, and you can kind of use it to smooth out your lines as well. And right here, I'm just rolling up a ball because I'm done with my carving, and now I'm going to make the little container that can hold my succulent. You don't have to do it this way, but you can. This is probably the easiest way, is just to make a little pinch bowl. And as you can see, I just rolled up a ball. I'm using my pointer finger and my thumb just to pinch out a little cup. And I'm making it pretty thin. And I'm just taking my time, making this nice little cup. Just attach it so I could put a little succulent on this. And boom, look at that. Now, the slab is leather hard, so I can't just put that on there. It'll fall off when I cook it. So clay's like a science. If you don't do this is called scoring. It's just a fancy terminology word in the ceramics world for scratching. And I'm dipping my little popsicle stick in the water, scratch in different directions, and I constantly dipping it to create this mud, if that makes sense. And then I just push it on there, And then I'm going to use my paintbrush to work around it, to smooth out all that gunk and stuff to make it look clean. Make sure that thing is really bonded. And now, when I cook this in the kiln, it won't fall off. The last thing I want, well, not the last thing, but the next thing I'd want to do is put a hole on this so I could hang it on the fence in the house with a nail. So I put a hole using the back of my paintbrush, and then I'm using a scraper to clean it up. And I'm just when I put that paintbrush through it too, another thing I didn't mention is you got to kind of just twist it in there. Don't just try to stab it crazy. You'll end up messing up your art. You want to twist it in there very slow. And the last thing I want to do, folks, the last thing, please put your name and period on this, just like I'm doing right here. All right? Next class, I'll show the pattern slab with also a container to hold a succulent. Stay tuned.